August 2020, Chennai Airport. DMK MP Kanimozhi walks through security. The CISF officer gives her instructions in Hindi. She does not understand. She asks politely, "Can you speak to me in Tamil or English?" The officer looks at her, a sitting member of parliament, and asks, "How can you not speak Hindi? Are you even Indian?" That moment, a parliamentarian told her Indianness is conditional. It's not an isolated incident. It is the surface of a question India has refused to answer for 75 years. Who decides what it means to be an Indian? And what gives anyone that right? आपको क्या लगता है? Is Hindi our national language? Dear friends, India does not have a national language. Hindi is not our national language, though it is spoken by around 40% of Indians. The constitution makers deliberately avoided the term in the constitution. It is not an accident. It is not an oversight too. A choice. Article 343 of the constitution says Hindi is the official language of the union, not the nation. The difference isn't about grammar. It is the most deliberate effort to avoid any kind of confusion in future. The framers of the constitution debated this heatedly for days. R.B. Dhulekar, a congressman from Uttar Pradesh, argued forcefully that Hindi should be the national language. Leaders like T.T. Krishnamachari warned that linguistic imperialism could endanger the nation's unity. Consequently, the Munshi Iyengar formula was adopted in the 1950 constitution, making Hindi the official language, but retaining English as the associate language for 15 years. In a country with 22 scheduled languages and hundreds more unrecognized, declaring one language national isn't unification, it is declaration of war. 1965 arrived and Tamil Nadu burned. January 26, 1965, Republic Day. The day Hindi was supposed to become India's sole official link language. In Madras, no Chennai, students did not celebrate. They marched. They burned Hindi textbooks. They defaced Hindi railway signs. Two young men in Madurai poured petrol over their bodies and set themselves on fire. According to unofficial report, more than 200 people died in the protest that followed. Not rioters, not extremists, students, teachers, ordinary Tamilians who believed genuinely, desperately that their language, their culture, their identity was about to be erased. But remember, this is not the first time Tamil Nadu opposed Hindi. Even before independence in 1937, the Congress government in the Madras presidency, led by C. Rajagopalachari, made Hindi compulsory in schools. Even then, there was opposition and government was forced to back down. The government blinked. Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, who had pushed hard for Hindi, backed down. The Official Language Act was amended. English would stay indefinitely. And here is the thing most people miss. Tamil Nadu did not win. India survived. Because the compromise that came out of 1965, English as the neutral bridge, is the only reason the union still holds. But the scar of 1965 never healed. Now, fast forward to today. National Education Policy 2020, the three-language formula. The center says every student must learn three languages, two Indian languages and English. Sounds reasonable, right? And fair as well. Here is the reality. The three-language formula, which was introduced through 1968 and 1986 education policy on the recommendation of Kothari Committee, is not language neutral. It cannot be. Because for a Hindi-speaking student in Delhi, the third language can be Sanskrit, a language structurally related to Hindi. Using the same script, sharing vocabulary, it is familiar. For a Tamil or Malayalam or Kannada student, Hindi is not Sanskrit. Hindi uses a different script, different grammar, different vocabulary, different linguistic ancestry entirely. Learning Hindi for a Tamil speaker is roughly as difficult as learning Russian or Chinese for that matter. Now, imagine being told, learn this structurally alien language or your state loses 2,291 crore in education funding. That is not a number I am making up. As of May 2025, Tamil Nadu has sued the center in the Supreme Court. The Samagra Shiksha funds were frozen. Not because Tamil Nadu's education system is failing, because Tamil Nadu refuses to implement the three-language formula. Let me ask you honestly, is this education policy or is this punishment? Here is where we need to be honest about what this fight is actually about. If this were about communication, the solution would be simple. English already works. English is what a Tamil trader in Chennai uses to negotiate with a Marwari supplier in Kolkata. English is what connects India's IT industry to the world. English is already the de facto link language. So why push Hindi? Look at Mumbai. Marathi, the language of Maharashtra's capital, is slowly disappearing from its own streets. If you are from Amchi, Mumbai, you definitely must have observed this. Look at what happened to more than 220 Indian languages since 1961. They become extinct. UNESCO classifies 197 Indian languages as endangered. The fear isn't about difficulty. The fear is about replacement. When a dominant language like Hindi gets institutional backing, government funding, education mandates, official communication, smaller languages do not coexist. They die. This is not speculation. It is the global historical pattern. The question isn't, should Indians learn Hindi? If you ask me, I will say everyone should learn as many languages as possible. But the real question is, when the state throws weight behind one language, who survives and who gets erased? And if you still think this is unjustified suspicion, आपको एक बार 8th schedule of the constitution पर ध्यान देना चाहिए. At least India's officially recognized languages started with 14 in 1950. Now it has 22. What's been added since independence? एक बार नजर डालते हैं. कोंकणी, मणिपुरी और नेपाली in 1992. बोडो, डोगरी, मैथिली और संथाली in 2003. Every single edition. Languages from the north and east. Maithili, which was historically classified as Hindi dialect, got 8th schedule recognition. On the other hand, Tudu, spoken by nearly 20 lakhs people, especially in Karnataka, but also spoken in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Delhi, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, even in Gulf countries, has been demanding recognition for decades and still waiting. 38 more languages, including Tulu, Bhojpuri, Rajasthani, are still pending. The constitution's promise was linguistic equality. The practice has been linguistic stacking. This isn't just about language. It's about who gets to be counted and who stays invisible. And if you have been following this channel, you know this connects to something bigger. The delimitation debate, seat distribution, north versus south, language imposition and seat reallocation. These aren't separate issues. They are two weapons in the same fight. The fight over who gets to define what India is. In December 2025, Supreme Court Justice B.V. Nagaratna, a Kannadiga judge, said plainly, "We South Indians do not want to be excluded because we do not know Hindi. What connects South India with the rest of India is English." That is not a regional grievance. That is a constitutional warning from inside the highest court in the land. So the three-language formula did not fail Hindi. It failed India. It created a two-tier citizenship where your Indianness is measured by your willingness to speak a specific language. Not your birth, not your passport, not your taxes, your tongue. The framers of the constitution saw this coming. That's why they wrote official language of the union, not national language. they understood that India is not a nation state in the European sense. In Europe, nation state concept revolved around one dominant language, one dominant culture, and relatively homogeneous ethnic identity. For example, France is recognized by French language, French ethnic identity. But India is a civilization state held together not by one language, one religion, one ethnicity, but by a shared agreement to disagree. The moment we forget that, the moment we decide there is only one way to be Indian, we betray the constitution, not in letter, but in spirit. The larger question isn't whether Hindi should be India's national language. The real question should be who gets to decide what it means to belong and what happens when a decision is made for you. Kindly let me know in the comments. Should India have a national language at all? Or is the very idea of a national language the problem? I am Akshay M. Palankar. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Jai Hind.